Hi, my name is Tia M. Holt. I'm currently a BSW, and I am also working on my MSW with completion here in the next couple months. So I wanted to come on today during this social work conference and discuss a little bit about domestic violence and crisis response and how that looks for me, as well as looking out into our community here in Chandler, Arizona, and helping those that have had used crisis response team and were in a domestic violence situation, and how I feel that Chandler Fire Department and Police Department could assist in helping these domestic violent clientele. So first off, I'm going to go over the summary. So the City of Chandler Fire Department Crisis Response Team responds to domestic violence calls, death, fire displacement, and mental health services, as well as many different, we're definitely not limited to those in particular. We also respond to just simple calls, just as transportation, motor vehicle accidents, and many others. So on with my summary. 42% of Arizona women and 35% of Arizona men experience partner physical violence, intimate partner sexual violence, and or intimate partner stalking. As far as the fire department-led crisis response team, are called to provide crisis intervention stabilization that is intended to stabilize, reduce perceived helplessness and vulnerability, along with creating new coping skills. The goal is to help the person attain functionality and provide a linkage to a higher level of intervention. Continue with my summary. The objective will be for the City of Chandler's Crisis Response Team support group to provide the community of Chandler with continued services for domestic violence situations, like I had mentioned earlier. The Fire Department Crisis Response Team support group is intended to provide a continuation of care and protect survivors and their children. Crisis response violence support groups will provide a safe environment and space for domestic violent victims needed help after the CRT team, which stands for Crisis Response Team, has been dispatched. As far as community needs, group facilitators will be crisis response team members who serve the community of Chandler and are licensed social workers, as well as some of our volunteers. The CRT team will discuss group and invite during dispatch calls and conversations with the client. So this is a crisis response team getting a call, say from Chandler Police Department. We go on scene, and to keep things safe for the client, we would mention verbally that we are going to be holding a community event, and we would like to see them there and to provide them with support and safety planning amongst having speakers present. The crisis response team can continue supporting the citizens of the City of Chandler, and we'd like to provide a safe space for follow-up care for the community of Chandler that has been serviced by the crisis response team due to domestic violence. And then we'll provide services and access to domestic violence shelters, survivors, and overall support. Community collaboration. So this is group meetings weekly and focuses on 8 program activities. It will allow for increased access to the community resources, increased support and sense of community, and responsive systems. And then the program's activities will consist of providing information, safety planning, building skills, for example, coping, emotional regulation, problem solving, etc., offering encouragement and empathy, as well as respect, some team building, supportive counseling, increased access to community resources and opportunities, increased social support and community connections, and community change and system change. The objective is to increase self-efficacy and hopefulness with social connectedness, safety enhanced, justice, and good physical, emotional, and spiritual health, which is very important when those going through domestic violence. They've over the years of growth as far as insecurities and just self-doubt. So a lot of building up our clients again. Social work interventions. The group facilitators will use various social work interventions and modalities such as motivational interviewing, risk assessment, and experiential therapy. The group will serve functions that are corrective, development, education, preventative, recreational, and therapeutic. The group-based approach will provide an open, consistent, safe place to experience, share, express, and regulate emotional strategies, skills, and behavior, as well as create new bonds and relationships with clear boundaries. The community collaboration. The support group run by the CRT team will provide collaboration with the City of Chandler Police Department and Fire Department, collaboration with domestic violence shelters and resource groups, also collaboration with domestic violence victims, families, survivors to create a community support system, collaboration with domestic violence survivors, City of Chandler legislators, funders, policymakers due to being community funded and part of the fire department. Some of the group evaluations will have individual surveys, which is offering at the end of each class. We'll give each client a questionnaire, which will give them a scale to rate the speaker, as well as the social worker that is running the group facilitator. We'll also be doing motivation for change, as well as community involvement, which will involve police, fire, and resources in the community. Here are some of the references from my research, and that sums up my information as far as covering domestic violence after crisis response calls. Thank you.